everyone to Something to Say, which is a program in which we interview people who've had extraordinary spiritual experiences. And today's guest is Yvonne Sneeden. And Yvonne has had one of the most remarkable near-death experiences that I've ever heard about. I first encountered it, I think, a couple of years ago, and I was totally blown away by it. I was so blown away that I took a lecture Yvonne did, and I fooled around and made it into 2 little videos and put them up on YouTube. And the feedback I got from people was that it changed their life. Yeah, I actually got that feedback from more than one individual, that just listening to that video was a life-changing event. So I want to tell you, welcome, Yvonne. I'm going to thank you. I'm going to tell people who you are a little bit. So they know, I'm going to read a little of this, but that Yvonne sent me. But as far as Yvonne's story is concerned, it was a deep emotional life crisis led to her near-death experience in 2008, in conjunction with strong medicines for heart arrhythmia. And this profound and powerful life-changing event, during which Yvonne visited a part of the place she calls heaven, transcended her faith and heightened her understanding of love, compassion, goodness, kindness, and acceptance for all. Since her experience, Yvonne is striving to bring the elements of the NDE, near-death experience, into her daily life and in her interaction with others. She feels it is important to share what she learned from her NDE experience and bring it together for the common good of us all. Help each and every one of us to live a better life here and now. Prior to her NDE, Yvonne's professional career included work in the Foreign Diplomatic Service in Europe. This has enabled her to meet people from around the world with various different backgrounds. And through the course of her career, she has realized that regardless of the level of social and public influence people exercise, we are all on a journey. Yvonne is the executive co-producer, together with Robert Neil Marshall, of Back from the Light, a film documentary focusing on near-death experience survivors and their after effects. Welcome, Yvonne. I'm absolutely thrilled that you are here, and I'm going to shut up, and I want you to tell us about your utterly amazing experience.
My bigger desire by doing this interview and by being on YouTube is share my story, to share where I went when I briefly died, and to encourage anyone who listens with a positive heart, just to encourage everyone. So I feel blessed if you have been encouraged by my story. I was laying on my sofa and reading a book, and suddenly, as I'm laying there, I felt the whole organs of each organ of my body shutting down, and at the same time as I felt that, I slipped out of my body. So I never felt the final pain of death, as many near-death experiencers have. Never feel the last part of it. If they fall from a tree, from a rock, sometimes they are out of their body before they land on the ground, and it was the same for me. And I'm really thankful that I never had to suffer like so many others had to. So so one moment I was just reading my book, and the next moment I was immediately translated into the light. And actually, when it's just as if, just imagine that one moment you're here, and the next second you're in a total different environment, like a projection, like, you just project it into another universe, another dimension, another reality. You slipped immediately. It's almost like there's that invisible wall that's actually pushed through. And from one moment I was here, the next second I'm in another total different environment. And that environment, it's actually pure light, and the whole atmosphere is completely brilliant. There is nothing else. It's like a fog of light, like as if you were inside a cloud and you cannot see anything around, and behind the cloud you have those ray of light of the sunshine that comes in. It was just brilliant, brilliant. And I'm in that brilliant atmosphere, and all I can feel in there is just joy. It's joy, it's happiness, but happiness just not like we have happiness here. It's the peak of happiness, the ultimate happiness, which has actually erased every sorrow, every anger, every anxiety, every trauma, every worries, everything that has a negative connotation to it is completely erased from my memory, from who I am. And I'm just basking in that tremendous light of joy and of happiness.
I want to go. I mean, I don't want to rush it, though. I'm sorry. Yeah, continue.
I know. Once you've been there, you don't want to come back, and I can understand that. And yes, that on this earth we have so many anxieties or sadness or betrayals or things we did to others and we did not want to do it, so we feel guilt and shame.
Yeah.
But also that was gone. Everything was gone. I was just that pure soul who was completely full of that happy light, happy joy, basking there. And I have a sense I was myself just light too. And as I'm there basking in that beauty, that joy, that effervescence of joy and of happiness and bliss, joyful bliss, and suddenly there I am, and I look through that light, and I see coming in the distance, coming towards me. I see a being of light where you could only see the outline. It was a translucent being. Translucent, it has an outline and like a human outlines, and that being that was coming through the light was even brighter. It was really bright. Everything was in that brightness. It's like you are in the middle of a bulb of light. It doesn't hurt your eyes. You're not hurt. And then in the middle of that bulb of light, already you see something even more brilliant coming towards you, as a being of light. And that being of light was just floating, hovering, floating, and making those movements like a flame of fire makes when you look in the fireplace. But instead of fire, it was light. And that being came towards me, hovering, and then came higher and whirling around me. And then it was just taking, just not standing like that, but just hovering with his body moving in all directions and looking at me with so much care and so much attention. Very attentive. That being was looking at me very attentively and with a lot of respect, a lot of care, a lot of admiration, as if it was, wow, that's my baby. That's my baby. Like when you look at an infant and a baby that's your own, you handle the first time that you have that baby in your arms after you give birth. You look at that baby with a lot of care, as if it was very fragile, but with a lot of love and emotion. And that's how that being was looking at me, with that same emotion and care and admiration. Wow, she's beautiful. And I'm not talking about an external beauty. I'm talking about inner beauty.
Mhm.
And as soon as that being wrapped me completely, and as that being wraps me, it wraps my being, it wraps my heart, everything I am. And at that specific moment, as he wraps me, I feel instantly a download from God, a download from the light, saying instantly, this is Jesus.
Mm.
And the love that emanated from Jesus was the love of a father and a mother, all in one unit, just a perfect parent, the perfect love of a parent, one unit. On earth we have the love of a mother and the love of a father. And at that moment, it was the two units in one being, in one being. I have never felt that before, ever, and since. It's feeling one person who is both man and woman in one, male and female energy. The pure energy, there's not like a physical being. It's not on the other side in heaven, it's not physical, it's all spiritual and etheric. And it was the two energy were one, like a father and a mother. And I felt embraced. And I think I got that one feeling because I have never felt the love of a mother and a father on earth, because my parents dropped my two sisters and I in a Catholic boarding school, in a private boarding school, because they were too busy socializing and making money around the world and didn't have time for their children. So they gave me they gave us they gave us perfect education, but no love. And I guess when I was in heaven, Jesus knew that that was the first thing I needed as a human, as a spirit that was coming back home, is to feel that love again, that love for the first time as a human, but back home as a parent. And he was just loving me and kissing me all over my face like a mother kisses a baby.
Mm.
Was just kissing me everywhere. And I'm still very emotional when I talk about
Wow,
that,
it's all right.
because no, it's so beautiful. There's no beauty like that on earth. The dimension and the depth of that type of love, which is a love that's unconditional, a love that doesn't think of them first. It was all about me. And on earth, I give a lot to others. And it was so wonderful to feel that I was receiving so much.
Mhm.
And and he was just loving and kissing me and holding me, Jesus. And I felt I felt really like a little infant or a child who is really in the arms of her parents, and because of this, the protective arms of the parents, nothing can happen to that child. And that's how I felt. I felt strong, I felt protected, I felt loved, I felt cherished, because when Jesus was holding me like that, the love that was given was tenderness, kindness, it was goodness, it was it was compassion. It was love itself that was showered in me.